A lot of times you're going to ask people to do something and they're going to find it hard to do in some way or in some context. For example, maybe you're asking someone to do something that's unpleasant. Maybe they don't want to cut the lawn. Maybe they don't want to help with the landscaping. Maybe they don't want to do the dishes or clean up around the house. Or maybe they don't really want to sign the deal because it's going to be unpleasant to have the takeover targets of the new business and the emotional stress of taking over the company and all of those kind of things. There's lots of things that are unpleasant that people don't want to do that they really need to be doing. What if it's difficult? None of those things are difficult. They're just emotionally difficult, right? Okay, and financially maybe a little uncomfortable. But what happens when something is hard? Like, hey, would you go ahead and help me move those shelf units out there? Oh boy, those shelf units out there, boy, they weigh probably 50, 60, 70, 80 pounds each. And that's without the books on them. Boy, I don't really want to do that. It's hard. And then what if it's unfamiliar? What if you're asking a person to do something that they've never done before? They don't have a retirement account. And if they do, they haven't put any money in 10 years. And if they do, they've only put 6% of their money in 3% of the companies. They got a 9% match. They need a lot more than that going forward. They need to be able to start a business. They have to be able to put money into a retirement account that's actually going to do something for them when they retire so they don't end up at the old people's home. So there's lots of new behaviors that people are going to have to do. Some of them are very hard in a lot of ways. It could be as simple as something as losing weight or saving money. Either of those things carries all kinds of problems. Sometimes like losing weight it's not unfamiliar. People can go up and down, right? But it's very difficult and unpleasant, especially over the long term. Losing weight doesn't happen today. Losing weight happens over the next rest of your life, right? So it's hard long term. So here we are. And so when you suggest these ideas, these concepts for people, whichever of them we've talked about, they have resistance. They build up a wall. So you have to do something in situations like this quite often that's called psychological distancing. And this is one of the coolest concepts in influence that nobody ever talks about, but it's really important. And it amazes me a little bit that none of the other gurus will tell you about it. I suspect probably it's because perhaps they're using it with their clients and they don't want anybody else to know about it, but I'll share it with you. Psychological distancing is really not a complicated concept. Here I am, I don't want to do something. So you asked me to do something today and I'm like, oh geez, I don't know, that's not all that fun to do and it's kind of hard and I've never really done that and I don't know if I could really, I don't know. Something like that, right? And all of a sudden you have a brochure, okay, or some kind of a pamphlet that you want me to look at, but you know that in this attitude, I'm not going to be receptive toward it, and you wouldn't want to put it in my hands right now with this attitude, right? So what you're going to do, are you going to keep it on your side of the table? Are you going to stick it right in front of me? Are you going to lay it down on the table over here, or are you going to lay it down on the table over there? Are you going to tape it up on the wall and back? What are you going to do with that brochure? What are you going to do with that pamphlet that the person needs to see? What are you going to do with that white paper? Well, the fact is that you're going to take that white paper out, that brochure out. You're going to place it on the table between us, and you're going to put it right there to where it's out of my reach. Like I would have to actually go and get it. Okay, I would have to actually bend over to go and get it. That's what you want. And now, because it's out of reach and because it's over here on my right, and all of that information about that white paper or that brochure is being processed in the left brain, that means that I'm going to have neutral to positive feelings about this white paper, about that brochure. So eventually, what's going to happen is you and I talk, and we build a solid rapport between each other. Eventually, I'm going to take a glass of water or a sip of wine, and all of a sudden I'm going to lean over and I'm going to kind of do one of those, and just kind of flip it toward me, and then I'm going to look at it. That's called psychological distancing. We take the thing that the person is sort of afraid of, and we put it that far away. We put it that far away. This could also be the agreement between you and this person. This could be the prenuptial agreement. This could be the buying the house or the buying the car. And so you don't want that right in front of me because, boy, that's going to just flood me with resistance. But if you put it right over there, where I have to actually go ahead and reach for it to bring it toward me, once we have rapport, now all of a sudden I'm doing it when I'm not feeling unpleasant. I'm going to grab it when I perceive that this is not all that difficult. I'm going to do it when I perceive that this is now familiar. This idea of owning this house or buying this car or whatever I'm doing is not unfamiliar because we've now painted the picture. We now have the picture. We now have the photo. We have the future image of me buying the car, the difficulties involved, overcoming those difficulties, the enjoyment of the automobile, whatever those experiences might be for me, you know, because I told you what they were, right? And so now you have this agreement or you have the brochure, it's over here, and there it is. It's like now you can grab it because it was out of reach. There was distance, psychological distance between me and the paper, but now I feel comfortable and now I'm going to reach over and grab it. That's what you want, psychological distancing. Now there's other kinds of psychological distancing too. Say that you and your wife or you and your husband, you and your kids have a fight in the living room, okay? Or say that you and the boss or you and a fellow employee or you and one of your employees has a big argument at the office and you want to solve it, you want to resolve it, you have a problem. Well, what you do is you don't resolve it right where you had the emotional impact, the negative emotional impact. That's the same as putting something on this side of the table over here. Bad, bad, bad. Nothing good can come when you put it here, on my left over here, nothing good can happen. Processed by the right brain, it's all negative emotions. No. Same thing is true is sitting in the local space where you have just had a big argument. What you want to do is you want to get up, you want to take that person on a walk around the building, around the office, around the yard, on a walk outside into the neighborhood, or even go for a bike ride, or even go for a drive, go to the mall, take a walk around the shopping mall, and then communicate as you're at a different location. Because that psychological distance between you and the pain situation, which at the moment was right here, so now we've actually taken ourselves, we've gotten up and we've gone somewhere else. We've not only created psychological distance, but we've created social distance, real life distance between things and people and places and objects. So this is what you want to do. You don't want to ask for commitment at home if you have challenges in the home and they feel uncomfortable or unfamiliar with what it is you're talking about there. You want to do it somewhere else. So take people somewhere else and take advantage of the space around you. Think in terms of metaphor, right? This is all about psychological distancing, and psychological distancing can be the same thing as physical distance, and you can utilize this almost every single time that you're communicating with someone that you need to influence and to get them to do what's in it, not only like to lose their weight, save their money, to do the things that are going to change their life, but also to help you both as a team together. Okay, guys, I will see you right here next time.